Hey guys, welcome back to Sword of Convallaria. In today's video, I wanted to give you guys my little guide on weapon trial number 2. Now, this one is probably the most tricky of the 3 to start clearing at level 7. It's one where you've really got to get used to the boss's rotations and positioning of your characters, plus having the right stuff in your team and having enough damage to be able to do it in enough turns. So when I show you guys my replay, I did only manage to finish this with one turn remaining. Because I don't have the craziest damage. Also, I did do it with free-to-play units, so keep that in mind. I was trying to do it. If you have better units, you will be able to put more throughput into this, and I'll talk about the team and what else you can use. But what I'm going to do is I want to jump into 8, which maybe I'd be able to stretch to do, but I don't think I'd have the damage. And I just want to have a quick look at the fight because I can't jump back into 7 because I've already done my clear for the day. What I have in my team is the most clutch one is Dark Ice Priest. The reason being is I took a talent on him that I otherwise would not have taken. I only took it for this. I will eventually unlock this one as well because I think for tower and stuff, this ability is amazing. However, for this one, it allows him to just be a soak for the back hit from the enemy, which means he can keep putting this physical shield because the enemy does do physical damage and he can soak that up. Okay guys, just in editing, I was looking through everyone's skill sets again for a different purpose and I realized I missed a very obvious one, which is the PayPal guard. Yes, I'm going to refer these guys as PayPal because everyone gets annoyed with how I say it anyway. So the PayPal guard has a clutch kit. He is the one I would recommend using over the Dark Ice Priest for this one because the Dark Ice Priest, you have to take an ability you otherwise wouldn't take, whereas this guy, you can use this guy as his only purpose here, which is this one. Instant, it has a 2 cost, casts a physical shield equal to 25% of HP, and then he also has this one, which is Penance, which can give him up to 24% damage mitigation and recovers an extra energy at the end of the turn. Basically, he's always going to be there. I will cater build this guy probably to be that damage soak for all the difficulties going forward, so that hopefully for you guys, you don't have to build the Ice Priest like that. But once again, this guy is super clutch for it. So great replacement if you have him, which you should, because he's only whatever silver rarity, a rare character. Now, what I am talking about is this attack here by the boss. If we look at the boss here, he has this one here where it attacks. Is it that one? Or is it this one? Whichever one. It's these 2 attacks, but at the start of battle, he'll use both of these, and then the rest of the battle, he'll only use one of them on cycle. So both of them have healing received block, and that's where the shield is handy, but just to be preemptive about it as well, I did also put this gear that makes him immune to healing received down, but because he has such a chunky shield, he should be able to survive even if you don't have that piece of gear, as long as you have some things leveled up decently. So that is what I did with him, and he basically, it has a knockback as well, so I put him in this spot just in the corner there so he can get knocked back 2 places and still land here. You'll see it in the replay where I always put him, and it's just the safest unit. He doesn't really do damage. Sometimes in between his turns he will shoot down pillars and stuff like that, but essentially he is just there as a tank to tank the back row. Then we have basically our healer, because we need heals. You need to survive. You're going to keep getting hit. And then we have basically our Mytha as our secondary healer slash, you know, some damage, kill pillars, knock them back and stuff like that. She's just a good free-to-play unit. Then we have Crimson Falcon and Rawaya as our 2 free-to-play DPS options. Now, just note, you do not want to be hitting the enemy with ranged attacks. The reaction here is when receiving ranged attacks, decreases the damage the character takes by 40% and puts Violent Shock, which we do not want to get Violent Shock on us. So you want to use melee damage dealers, and the only reason I'm using Ice Priest in here is for his shield. He will never attack the boss, except in this replay you'll see he kills the boss with his last attack, but that's the only time I attack the boss with him. So that is what we are looking at. Same with the healer, you never want to attack the boss with her because it's going to put a debuff on you. And I'll show you guys the rotation. That's just the main core principles behind it. And I'll talk about positioning as we go through the replay and talk about the boss's rotation. So let's just bounce quickly out and we'll take a look at the replay and I can show you guys the way you want to tackle this boss. So as you can see, if we go to this one, I think it is, we should have it, Weapon Trial 2. Yep. I quickly wanted to walk through the boss's turn rotation, because that is going to be the main thing. And if you can understand that, you'll be fine. But once again, I will go through the whole thing and explain my movements as I go. But essentially, the boss is going to attack the rearmost ally. These attacks attack the rearmost ally, which are very important to avoid. And that's why you always want to keep your Dark Priest in the corner up the top here, but you also want everyone else to be further forward than him. For that attack, you need Dark Priest to be the back one and shielded. That is what you want. Once again, if there's another hero that can do that, shielding type strategy, then you can go ahead and do that. But that is what we are looking at. The next attack the boss will do will put on the 2 nearest allies to the boss a debuff. And that's all that happens for that turn. The turn after that of the boss, he will do a cross-shape attack out of those 2 allies. Just think of them as electrified, and the electricity like disperses out in a cross shape. So you want to not have any allies that will be hit by that cross-shape damage. Then the attack after that for the boss is three tile wide in front of him. It's an AoE knockback. Now, it's not going to do damage that will normally kill your team, so I still leave my damage dealers in there and do damage the turn before the boss does that. It is just damage that you will have to heal up, and don't put your like Ice Priest or your healer in the range of it pointlessly, so that they're going to just take extra damage that then you have to try and heal up. So that is the next one. Then it goes back to, once again, at the start of the battle, he'll do the double rearmost ally attack, and that's why I have my Dark Priest behind where my healer is. So at the start of the battle, he'll do 2 of those into the debuff application, into the cross attack, into the knockback. Then for the rest of the battle, he just does the rearmost ally, which is, once again, you want to be the Ice Priest with the shield on, into the debuff application, into the cross attack, into the AoE knockback. Then it just rinses and repeats that rotation the whole way through, so you can plan for what's going to happen and you can know what the boss is going to do. Let's go through the replay. And just have a bit of a look. So you'll see we run forward, we attack. Now, the 2 techniques I use, or the 3 of them, I have the flag for the 350 cost flag to get the extra energy regen. The 2 cost, I have the one that gives you increased movement and allows you to move after you attack. That one's really handy for repositioning. And then the other one I have is the one that boosts the allies' speed and gives them an extra energy, and it's like an 80 cost. Those are the 3 that I will be using in here. So we're just running up. The main thing is I want to kill these 3 pillars because he does a knockback, and to get the damage I do have to have my melee in range of the knockback to get hit by it, and if they get hit into these pillars they'll take extra damage. So that's why I'm whittling away these pillars. So as you can see, I used a skill on the assassin there just because otherwise I wouldn't have broken it, so I just wasted some there. So this is the first attack. You can see he attacks the ally at the back, and so this is the one spot here where you really need to survive. Unfortunately, I could have used my ability that increases the speed and got the Dark Priest to move. However, my healer is also too slow, so this is a bit of a stat check. Like I said, if there is another unit that can survive this, you know, maybe a tank or something with the same shielding ability, that will probably be better. But like I said, this is the best I could do and just survive with my Ice Priest. So now I'm going to go ahead and I use the enhanced movement one so I can get Ice Priest into this corner. I put his shield on himself, and then I go ahead and heal him up. The reason I do that is because at the start of the battle, the boss will do 2 attacks at the back row. So what you'll see is, and you can see there, I'm just trying to deal some damage on that rock. Now I'm going to go ahead, get my drink, get my crit up here with my rewire, and then go ahead and attack the boss because we do need to put as much damage as we can. Unfortunately, missing the crit with a 60% boost off the tipsy, but it is what it is. So then we're going to move away, allow Crimson Falcon in to go ahead and attack the boss because we want to get that damage in. There you go. The boss does that attack, and that is why I put him in that position, because then when he gets knocked back by that ability, he can then not fall off an edge and take extra fall damage. So then I'm just going to run him back up. Now I know that the boss's rotation is different. So now the boss is going to use other abilities. The next ability, he'll put a debuff on 2 of my allies. So now I'm going to attack these pillars with my Ice Priest because he doesn't need to shield himself for a little bit. So next we're going to go ahead, we're going to attack with the healer as well because everyone's pretty well topped off. Not too bad. Boss is going to put a debuff on 2 of my allies. Now, the next time the boss attacks, those 2 allies will deal damage in a cross shape around themselves to our allies. It will also do it to the obstacles so you can use that to break the obstacles, but you don't want to have any allies in a cross shape of these allies. You can have them in the cross shape of 1 because most of your heroes can probably survive the 1 hit of the cross, but it does require more healing output, and you'll see sometimes I do leave an ally in the way, and it's fine because I can heal them up. But just note, those 2 allies, the next time the boss has a turn, they will shoot beams in a cross shape, and it'll deal damage to any of my allies in the way. The one thing you definitely don't want to do is have these two allies with that shock in the same line as each other, because they will die. They will just straight die because they'll take damage from their own one and the other one, and then you're screwed. So you never want to have these two in a cross shape of each other. So next up, you can see I just moved there, I attack that, and then move her out of the way, and then I go ahead and I attack it with her, sorry. And then those two, you can see when they do, and then that. So the reason I did that positioning is that now they're not going to cross shape their damage, which you'll see in a sec, into each other, and that also allowed me to put Crimson Falcon into melee range. And that's where that, what's it called, attack order or whatever it is, the one that lets you move after you attack, is so handy because you can do that repositioning and still allow an ally to attack and stuff like that. So it's super handy for that. So next, I'm going to just put my shield on him, even though I don't need it. I just had nothing else to do. And then I'm going to heal. You can see I actually misplayed there by not moving my healer. I should have moved her back one. That was just a stupid misplay. But this will show you that you can leave an ally there. You can see the cross shape. The cross shape actually hits my healer, but it's fine. It doesn't kill her. I can just heal it up with an AoE heal, which I was going to have to do anyway. So then I go ahead and I keep healing up. That secondary healing from her is fantastic. Now I'm going to go ahead and try and get some damage into the boss. Now the boss's next attack is going to be 3 tile wide in front of me, which is basically my 3 characters here. That's going to push them back and deal damage. Now you could avoid it by putting them to the side, but I need to damage the boss. So I just leave them in there and know that I'll survive and heal through it. So here's the knockback. There you go. We take damage, we get knocked back. But it's cool because we could survive it, and we need to put damage out. So now he summons these extra pillars. Now, if they get hit by that cross-shaped thing, that's when it's bad times. So you can either kill these things or avoid them. I kind of do a little bit of both. So let's go through. There we go. Get the heals up. Perfect. We're all topped off. It's looking pretty good. So we're going to put the pillar down, the flag down there. I stupidly put the flag in the way of my Mytha, so she couldn't attack that crystal, but it ain't too bad. So let's keep going. Now we're going to go ahead and you can knock, and those crystals, you can knock them off the edge, which is super, super handy as well. So then we're going to go ahead and deal some damage into that one. Now the back attack, you can see that my last turn on my mage, I did put the shield on. So now we put the shield on again. It doesn't matter. We don't need the shield. We could have gone and attacked something, but it doesn't matter. We attack that. Unfortunately, we don't break it with the healer. And now we get these 2 units. That was a stupid placement. I forgot that that ability was next in the rotation because it goes knockback into the application, into the spread attack, into the AoE knockback, into the back attack. Yeah. So it does the one where he attacks my back unit, and that is why I always want to be leaving the ice mage at the back. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but it always attacks your furthest back and like ally, and that's why you put him back. So it goes that attack into the one that applies it, into the one that does the cross-shaped damage, and then into the one that does the 3-tile knockback, and then it keeps rotating through. So let's go here, and let's press play and keep looking. So now you'll see we go ahead, we do some little healing, boom, tap. Then we're going to go ahead and get some more damage in here. Drink up to get the extra crit. And then we go doink, and doink. Luckily we got a crit. Still not massive damage, moral-wise, not great. Then I move over here to attack that and destroy it. Then I'm going to just shield myself over here, and then I move her there. Then we're protected from the cross-shaped damage. You can see no one else gets hit by it, just the 2 that had it. Unfortunately, I don't really want my healer to get it, but it is what it is. We managed to survive anyway. Go ahead, get that extra heal from Mytha. It's always a clutch little thing that you can get. Then I went ahead and I did the speed boost one on my healer because otherwise she was going to get hit by the AoE, which is not what I wanted. So now the boss is going to do the AoE knockback. Boom. It's okay. We survive. Unfortunately, I hit the flag, which was kind of stupid, but there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and shield up because the next attack is coming for my rearmost ally. We can knock those things off, which is super handy. Now we're going to drink up. Let's speed up. So you guys get the gist. It's just a really awkward one to keep doing. Get as much damage into it as we can. And then we're going to attack. There's the knockback. Cool. We can just move forward now. and I can start attacking things because he's not going to get attacked again for a little bit. These two are going to get the thing applied to them. Now I've got to be cautious of their positioning so that we don't get hit. So that was a good one because it allowed me to knock it off. You can see no one is in the spread of these two now. I can get the heals up on them. They're fine. That goes split, split, happy days, no issues. The next one that we're going to cop from the boss is going to be the knockback in the front range. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to do as much damage as I can to the boss because we need to get that damage in so we don't run out of turns. He's going to knock us back. We still survive, happy days. And then we just run up. Now, I do a bit of a misplay here because I could have knocked that crystal off with Rewire, but I didn't do it. But that's just me being stupid. And you'll see, so the next attack is going to be on my Ice Mage because it's the rearmost ally. And so the mage is shielded, so we're pretty safe. Boom. Happy days. Once again, that mage is just there for that. But now I know I need to start getting rid of this stuff. So the reason I do that is to put the ice down is so I can knock it all the way off the edge with my Mytha. So then I knock it all the way off the edge because it goes the extent of the ice. I go ahead, I get that damage in. Move out the way. Once again, making these crosses so that we don't get hit. Get the heal up, and now the cross damage comes off. Hits my healer. Once again, doesn't matter because she is going to survive. It's pretty happy. And then we can go ahead heal. Now we want to go all in for damage, essentially, is where we're going to be looking because you can see the boss is getting pretty low. We have used a fair few turns. If we could check out our turns here, we're on 13 of 16. So now we're just healing up. Now I'm 14. Now this is where I'm like, oh shit, we just got to go all in on damage here. So we go in, get the extra crit. Get the, I even did the thing for the extra point as well there. So that's what we went ahead and did, the extra energy. So he gets knocked. That's okay. Surviving. Just doing some damage to that little pillar. Doing some damage, just whittling the damage because I know I'm not going to go away from doing damage. So this is where we're going all in on damage and then just trying to split just in case we don't get it because I do have a lack of damage. Luckily, we got the crit there. We got one crit on that hit and then I can move him forward and do it. But like I said, that is a basic look at the strategy. It is a little bit of a tricky one, harder than the others in my opinion. I'll show you guys my builds, but you just got to remember that rotation where he attacks the rearmost ally, which is the Ice Priest. So you need to have his shield on. At the start of the battle, he will do that twice. And then after that, he goes the back attack to the rearmost ally, which is the priest, where you want to keep him shielded. Then he moves into putting the debuff on two allies. Then he moves into the cross attack on those two allies. Then he moves into the AoE knockback. And then he moves back into the back attack at the Dark Ice Priest. And that is the essential way we did. Now, a quick look at my builds. I'll just show you guys the attacks I'm actually... You can basically just see them there and see the attacks I'm using. Pretty basic stuff, nothing crazy. And you can see the gear as well. Just for reference. And yeah, that's everything I've equipped. That's my gear. I finally got an axe for her. Then we go over here, standard stuff. If you guys want to see the stats on those things, I guess I can show you as well. This one I went with the double heal strategy just because I didn't need to take attacks for allies. There's my healer. She's pretty well set up. And that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's the other one? You. And that's the Ice Priest. Once again, that piece is pretty clutch to stop the healing receive reduction. It's not 100% necessary, I don't think, but it is definitely a really clutch thing to have. So that is that. That is what we're looking at. I didn't really care about what I was putting on my characters for these. You can see she's got the healing effect. Like my stuff here is not great. Let's see who else. She had that. She had that. She had that one. And he had that one. So that is what we are looking at for gear. Once again, it is a bit of a tricky fight. If there is someone else that has that shield, I will put it in the pinned comment because it's kind of a waste getting it on this Ice Priest, but it was the only thing I could find to actually get that effectiveness. But let me know what you guys used, if you've used anything different. That was my strategy. Sorry for the long video, but I wanted to explain it as good as possible. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.